Rumpy, I think Sophie's stuck in the mini fridge.
He's not stuck in the mini fridge. I'm pretty sure that's just another fridge.
I just lost Alan.
What do you mean you lost him?
It looks like he entered our system, but I don't know how.
He knows too much.
You know what would help, Sophie? Losing a bit of weight.
Perhaps it was foolish of you to send him in, no?
Fine, yeah.
I'm working on it, sir.
I think we should just let him cool down a bit.
Wait here while I clear the area of danger.
Anyway, we're live. Okay, I was saying something. I was saying something at the end of the last part, and I don't remember what it was.
I don't know. But don't worry, folks. We'll get Sophie out of the mini fridge. Ain't that right, Sophie? He's fine.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Dang it, I really cannot remember. Oh, right. Nope. Nope, still don't remember.
Launch status is active. Data rates. Begin preliminary boarding procedures. All data holders and crew transports complete unravel task.
Quit running!
I know I was mentioning asterisk. I had mentioned asterisks and just kind of general question. What was I thinking of? Yeah, I'm gonna... You won't hear it. I know I will. But I'm gonna try and figure out what the fuck I was talking about last part.
Oh no, he's got the master audio. What's he gonna do?
Yeah, like I said, you won't hear it. I will. That is not the right part. Oh, okay, now I remember what I was talking about. So basically what FCOM is doing is they plan on sending people into systems to more or less get information and sell it to the highest bidder.
When loaded, it will be capable of handling
Like
thousands
that
of
that's their
radar
entire
bots, a full
plan.
complement of escort protocols and teams of covert net contingency programs, all in one transfer.
I need a peek at the server schematics.
Ah, an enthusiast. Right this way.
Grumpy, you still there?
I'm still here.
Good. I don't like being left alone.
Is that when the dark thoughts kick in?
No, the dark thoughts are always kicking in. Look, if I let the intrusive thoughts win, there are things that I would end up saying that I would personally regret. I mean, for instance, if I let the dark thoughts win, yeah, I can end up saying things like,
Here we
you
have
got off
the
there?
FPM-3T remote performance monitoring application.
Jet, the schematic is going to take some time to decipher. In the meantime, make your way to the server's docking tethers.
I'm looking over at my... I just have a lot of random, random Dreamcast games and disc and such. Mostly, like, I have a handful of demo disc. I have, what the hell is in this pile, actually? Atari Anniversary, Space Channel 5, Trick Style. But I'm looking at the cover of one of the demo discs, and it's like, man, there's a lot of weird games that are just shown on the cover here. I don't even remember what half these are. Although I'm almost certain the anime stuff that's on the cover of this demo disc is for Grandia 2 or something. That makes me curious. Like, what is the weirdest game that you've played, Grumpy?
Weirdest game that I've played. Oh, that's a tough one. I guess one of them would be Conkers. I've also played the Goat Simulator. That was pretty fun.
Oh yeah, Goat Simulator is weird.
Damn, you're gonna have to give me a minute to refresh my
That's
gaming
fair.
library.
Have you ever heard of a game called Cubivore?
No.
That's a weird game.
What are you,
Like the entire
other cubes, or-
premise of the game is you are going around and trying to actually become the strongest, like the best animal in a jungle. It's really weird. It is also one of the most expensive fucking GameCube games of all time, and it pisses me off.
Accessing FCON's IO grid.
According to the schematics, the transfer through the massive data port has very little...
I mean, there's a ton of games that I really want to get a copy of, but the game itself is really fucking expensive.
Yes, it's simple from a user's point of view. It's a different story from in here. You'll need to destroy the clamps securing the server's 4 primary stabilizing bits. Once on
Ever heard of a game called Crush?
for the stabilizers to
It's a
No.
PSP game.
Down with the ship?
No.
No. My versatility on PSP library is a little
Sounds like it'll be a close one.
At best,
It's a very interesting puzzle platformer.
Ah.
It's a good game. Like it's a really good game. It's a very interesting puzzle platformer, and it's for me it's more interesting because it ended up getting a remake on the 3DS, and if I remember correctly, like that's the last we've heard of it. But it's also weird because the remake, the 3DS version, actually cuts out bits. So it's kind of it's kind of a situation like with Conker where you have the original and then you have a remake on a slightly more powerful system, and yet the remake cuts out stuff. It cuts out stuff despite the fact that it very easily could just have the original game on there. It's just kind of weird. Looking at my game library, and I'm just trying to think. It's like, what do I want to play after we finish Tron? Now always do Epic Mickey because we got the remake of Epic Mickey coming out.
Oh yeah, that's good timing.
Yeah, played through the first game. Have you ever played those games, the Epic Mickey games?
I have played the first one. Yeah.
I am sad. My experience with Epic Mickey pretty much begins and ends at the second game. And more specifically, the Wii U version of the second game, which is not the best version. It's not good. It's not terrible. I think like the worst version of Epic Mickey 2 was probably either on the Wii or the for some reason they got a version on the PlayStation Vita, of all things. I'm curious how the PlayStation Vita version plays.
There's only one way to find out. To the emulator.
Or I could, you know, buy a PlayStation Vita.
With your budget.
Yeah, no, you got me there.
Let's go to the emulators.
Well, the other thing is I don't know how well PlayStation Vita emulation is.
Would you just gonna leave me out there in that door?
But yeah, no. Going back to the Epic Mickey thing, like most of my experience has just been with like the Wii U version of Epic Mickey 2. I do own. I no longer have the. Ow.
Sorry.
It's just loud in my ear. You're fine. I no longer own the Wii U version of Epic Mickey 2, but I do have it on PlayStation 3. That's all right. It does sadden me because it's like that is a series where, from what I've heard, a lot of people consider the best game to be the first one. Which is even more tragic because Warren Spector planned like three or four games in the series, and he never got a chance to do the third game, despite the fact that the second game very clearly sets up a third game. Never got to do a third game because Disney basically just shut down the company. And a lot of people, I remember at the time, a lot of people are like, oh, well, it shut down, like, they shut down Junction Point because Epic Mickey 2 failed. They shut down Junction Point before they could even get the sales numbers for Epic Mickey 2.
That sucks.
Yeah. Which made them announcing a Epic Mickey remake or even remaster, whatever we're getting. It made the announcement that franchise was coming back such a big fucking deal. And I do hope that this remaster does well enough that we can eventually get a remaster of Epic Mickey 2.
This thing should go into a nice
Because,
tailspin once
yeah, Epic Mickey 2 may not have been a great game, but I would just love to see that one actually on modern systems.
Neat.
Hell, it'd be nice if we were lucky enough to actually finally get the third game that Warren Spector originally planned.
I was just hoping to get some more darker when I heard about it.
Some more what?
You know, all that behind the scenes stuff with Epic Mickey about how it was supposed to be much darker.
Actually, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff where it was allegedly supposed to be darker, a lot of that stuff was more them testing stuff to see what they can get away with. Like it wasn't that they intended the game to be darker. It was more they wanted to see what Disney would let them do.
The system's failsafe is kicking in.
There is a ton of there are a ton of ideas that Epic Mickey originally had that I think would have been really cool. Like,
get the doctor up immediately. We need to know what's going on.
Yeah, but they have
like,
to stay on brand.
Yeah.
I hate how you gotta be so clean and sanitary.
I think we have a problem.
You know,
what now?
Data race number A32 regained consciousness a few moments ago. He says there's a program, probably a user, engaging our race.
Tech.
Well, and I love the idea of
Search Allen's lab server.
I do love the idea of
Oh, sorry, we can't do that. That server has been completely reformatted.
Shit, I can't think
all
of
the
something.
data is gone.
I would love to see another game take some of the concepts from Epic Mickey
Will do.
and sort of rework it, because I would just love to see another Epic Mickey-esque game where you're dealing with like forgotten characters. Anyway, time for another fucking secret boss fight. I just realized my mic cut off again.
Hey, you're back.
Yeah, it occurred to me that my mic cut off again. I have no idea what's going on. I'm slightly worried.
I know, you lost your stuff.
Anyway, time for another Seeker boss fight. Yippee! I mean, to be fair, we are getting close to the end of the game, and it's less that I'm not enthusiastic because I'm bored. It's more I kind of ran out of things to say. You know what? While it's still relatively topical, let's talk about Concord.
That game I never heard about until like 2 days ago.
I am positive that Concord is going to end up being Sony's, like, the video game equivalent of fucking Morbius.
I was gonna say Quibi, but okay.
Like, I am almost certain to recoup the cost spent on making the game, Sony is going to turn the game into a free-to-play game, and even then, nobody's going to fucking play it. It's almost like the game didn't look interesting when people actually had to pay it to play it. Even making it free to play isn't going to make it any more appealing to people. It's even more sad because we have we have a Sony CEO go out of their way and say, "Oh, well, we don't have a lot of IP. We don't have any IPs that we can do anything with," and it's like, bitch, you've had IPs that haven't had a new game since PlayStation 1. Shut the fuck up. I mean, at this point, it just reminds me of that one Sega of America CEO that didn't know that Streets of Rage was an established Sega franchise in the 90s. And that's why it took us like 20, 30 years, or around 20 years to get a Streets of Rage 4.
Right.
Yeah, because somebody high up at Sega didn't actually know that Streets of Rage was a franchise that they owned. It's like, yeah, there's a reason that this one's called Streets of Rage 4 and not Streets of Rage. I mean, it could be worse. It could be Microsoft. Because, I mean, even if the higher-ups don't know what properties they have, Sony at least still has IP that... It still has IPs that they can easily make games of and have made recent games like Ratchet & Clank, God of War, Last of Us. Like, those have gotten new games recently. Hell, Twisted Metal, even though it hasn't had a new game since the PlayStation 3, at least we have the Twisted Metal TV series. Microsoft hasn't done anything with like 90% of their IP that isn't Halo or Gears of War. And what they've been doing with Halo, a lot of fans don't like.
Yeah.
So, like, I am convinced that Microsoft, like, it's not even the higher ups. I'm convinced Microsoft in general doesn't know what IP it owns. And it's even worse because now they have access to Activision, and I'm almost certain. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, they have Activision now, which means they have Crash and Spyro. We can see them get a new Crash and Spyro." Yeah, say that to fucking Rare. Microsoft has done almost nothing with Rare since they bought the company back in 2002. Grabbed by the Ghoulies was originally a fucking GameCube game. And I'm almost certain the only reason that came out was because it was almost finished by the time it came to Xbox. Like,
I never got the chance to play Grabbed by the Ghoulies.
That's alright. It's backwards compatible. But it's worth Grabbed by the Ghoulies is at least worth trying. I remember a lot of people weren't as fond of Grabbed by the Ghoulies when it first came out because it's like, oh, you have this big grand Xbox game, and they were wondering after Microsoft bought Rare, it's like, oh, what are they going to do with like this big company? Maybe they're going to make a great this big grand game. And Grabbed by the Ghoulies was basically a glorified GameCube game, and it's like, and a lot of people were disappointed by it, and it's like, yeah, it's almost like it was originally intended to be a GameCube game before Microsoft bought the company or something. It's kind of it's a example of a lot of people didn't like it at the time. I guess the best way to describe it is like the Zelda Wind Waker effect. Like, people hated it for the time because they were expecting something completely different than what they actually got. And then people, like the people who actually took the time to experience what they got, it's like, this isn't actually that bad. Anyway, all this to say, like, I will give shit to Microsoft any day of the week, and it's less that I hate Microsoft. Like, I really want people to understand. Like, I don't hate Microsoft. I give Microsoft shit because they do a lot of stupid things.
Yep. So stupid that if Linux was any better, I would have dumped them already. I mean,
Microsoft.
Linux is cool, but it takes a lot of work. So.
Oh yeah, no. I'm the same way. Like Linux takes. Linux is Linux
it's
just
cool.
requires a lot of.
Yeah, it just requires a lot of work and knowledge. I mean, it's cool, but still. You messed with Linux before?
I've messed with a couple Linux programs.
What have you messed with? I messed with Ubuntu.
Scans indicate
Pretty much that. Pretty much just Ubuntu.
I messed with Ubuntu, Mint, and Pop. I really like Pop.
I do have a Raspberry Pi that runs off of Linux, but other than that, it's like most of what I've messed with is like Ubuntu. Anyway, but
Raspberry Pi, and you didn't tell me.
I'm
not gonna eat it. I know what that is. No food jokes right now.
I need to get a better SD card for it.
Yeah.
Because that would actually make recording certain games a lot easier. But yeah, like going back to Microsoft, like again, I don't hate the company. It's just like they have a lot of dumb decisions. And granted, I'm still convinced that like since the announcement of the Xbox One, and more specifically like showing off the Xbox One and not showing literally any fucking games for your, I don't know, game system, that in general is probably what has harmed them the most. Also notice my health is going down, and I'm not getting hit. You want to know why my health is going down? The fucking corrupted ball that I'm currently holding. Apparently... Got out again. Keep getting on, anyway. I will be right back.
You still here?
I keep cutting out, and I don't know why.
I don't know. Hardware issues?
Microsoft is listening, and they don't like me shitting on them.
Oh my god, they put the kill switch on you.
Anyway.
We better talk in code. So if they ask about that, we say, Bill Gates. Damn it, that's not good. Macro hard. Okay, that's not pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, like
Nano Plush.
Nano.
That sounds like a fiber.
Baba
Booey. Baba Booey, yes.
Baba Booey.
Alright. So Baba Booey kind of hit the kill switch on you, probably. I don't know.
It's not bad. Anyway, but yeah, like I honestly feel like ever since the Xbox One announcement, Microsoft has not known what the fuck they're doing when it comes to video games. That being said, their backwards compatibility is actually halfway decent.
Security systems operating efficiency 65%. Diverting power from energy bridges.
Anyway, time to sabotage the server.
Yeah. This is what you get for paywall, jerks.
Security systems operating efficiency reduced to 50%. Security systems operating efficiency reduced to 50%, diverting power from finders.
You know the irony? You say that this is what you get for having paywalls. I'm pretty sure FCOM would be the type of company that would just monetize every aspect of a game.
25%. Security systems operating efficiency.
The only part of a game that's free is the character creator, and even then you have to pay to get the best customization options.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks, my dude.
Every time you level up, you have to pay to actually access the next section of the MMO. And it's not like, oh, you're paying for an expansion. No, you have to pay for the next area. Like the point is like they would monetize everything, make sure they suck you dry. They would also have literally every bit of information on you, like credit card details, email address, bank account statements, like everything. So, yeah.
Even our bathroom habits?
Yep.
No! No, they'll find out the real reason why I take 30 minutes in the bathroom.
You worry me sometimes.
Hey, it's not that bad. I'm just checking my social media constantly and ducking out of things. I mean, I have bad bowels. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Boy, that's a lot.
Man, I can't. So we have this part and one part after this. I can't wait till we get to the last part because one of my favorite plot points in this game is actually how the game itself ends. And I don't want to give it away.
Onboard training grades
Because
activated.
Tron 2.0 technically had a sequel, but it had a sequel in the form of a comic miniseries that more or less told its own story. It was a sequel. It is a continuation from 2.0, but it's but that sequel more just kind of does its own thing. Well, and it's interesting because it kind of goes with it goes into the philosophy of a whole digital world and like beings that live inside of a computer. Like it's kind of an interesting concept. There are multiple plot points that are not resolved by the end of this game that just the sequel comic never actually brings up. But I'll talk about it more in the next part.
Alright. See ya.
Adios.